Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers joining us on the show. We were just talking music, and it always gets intense. It gets heated. If I said you could talk music or you could talk football, what would you lobby for?
Right now, I'd say music.
First concert you went to?
Keith Urban.
That's the first?
No, hold on. Let me go back. I didn't go to a lot of concerts growing up. I went to Switchfoot, actually. I was like 10 years old.
So you saw your country. If you have your choice, you go country?
Country, alternative rock, 90s is actually if I'm listening to the radio, Sirius, or turning on the way room or something, I always try and get 90s on there.
But I find it interesting, though, when people, the music that they play, and then you always have this discussion in locker rooms. Like, who gets to control music in the Packers locker room?
The person with the loudest boombox.
Wait.
So they send a bunch of the big old beat pills out. And so usually it's whoever brought it in first and started playing it. But this last week, Julius actually held on to the music and played the same song like 3 times in a row before he went on the field. So I'm guessing because of superstition, that's going to happen for a while now.
What was the song?
I can't tell you. It was one that I know very well. It was a rap song. I couldn't tell you.
You're getting old, man. You're getting old.
Sometimes I just put on my own headphones and listen to some Pearl Jam or Foo Fighters or something else.
100 games you've played in the NFL. You realize that?
Yeah, that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it's gone by pretty quickly.
It does go by quick.
But do you feel a little bit younger because you started later as far as getting the chance to actually start?
I do. I really do. This is my 7th year starting. Yeah, I got to watch for 3 years and kind of take it all in and figure out the kind of quarterback and teammate I wanted to be. And then got my start in 2008 and missed a few games along the way because of injury. But it's been fun. It's been a good run. But I feel like I still got a lot of years left.
Could you see yourself playing at 40?
Yeah, I do. I'd love to. I think it'd be a great challenge. I like to play a certain way. I like to move around. I like to keep plays alive with my feet. So I don't want to be a guy who is a real diminishing player at the end of my career. I'd rather walk out still knowing I can play. I think there's an extra bit of pride in that. So I want to be able to play the way I want to play, and that's going to take a lot of hard work, especially in the off seasons, to keep up with my conditioning and my level of fitness that I have right now to be able to play the way I want to play, extended plays, running when I have to. I think I can do that for a while, and 40 would be a great challenge.
Well, you got Hans and Franz helping you work out, so you should be able to work, play till 40, right?
I'm all pumped up. Can't you tell? That's why they got the HGH testing now.
Are you the reason why HGH testing is now in the NFL?
Yep. Yeah, every time I take my shirt off in the locker room, they say, there's no way. There's no way that guy is natural.
Well, is it an insult if they don't drug test you, Aaron?
I think so. Yeah, I've actually got tested the last 2 weeks. I wasn't surprised. I went in yesterday, and what's waiting for me in my locker? We have a big come-from-behind win.
Yeah.
Drug test. There's no way I could have done that on my own, right? And to have help.
Well, you could have been drugged up, in the final 15 seconds because you're the only guy who was calling for the not fake spike there. And so, that seemed to surprise everybody. Now, let me first go back to the first time you saw the fake spike that Marino did, which I think was 1994. When's the first time you saw that?
That day, for sure. As was custom in our household, Saturdays was college football, Sunday mornings was church, and Sunday afternoon was pro football. So I was definitely watching the game either live or saw the highlights, and I thought it was brilliant. He threw it for a touchdown. I didn't go for a touchdown, but I actually saw Dan on the sideline. I didn't get to talk to him, but I saw Dan on the sidelines of the game. It didn't actually click after I did the fake spike, but
I'm sure it did with him.
It was purely a reactionary play, and I'm just glad Devontae looked inside and then got out of bounds.
But it could have gone horribly wrong, Aaron. If he catches it and goes and is actually forced to go in, then it's over.
Possibly, yeah.
Right?
Possibly.
Well, no, you have no timeouts left.
Yeah, we had time we had some time. We couldn't be able to spike it, depending on how long you took it now.
Okay. I thought Cortland Finnegan, if he actually plays outside and forces him in, then it's going to be really hard to get another playoff.
Or he could score.
Well, he could have. I love the confidence here. But, okay, did McCarthy know anything about this when you go over there? Because it seemed like he whispered something to you when you went over after you scored the touchdown.
I'm not sure. It was really loud. It was actually a ton of Packer fans there in Miami. I don't know exactly what he said to me, but I saw the replay of that, and he looked happy. So it must have been something positive.
And then you seem so nonchalant about it, though. But is that just your personality? The final 15 seconds, you were like, all right, no big deal. And then you score, and then even afterwards, you're explaining it, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's what we did, and then that, and then nobody knew what was going on, and, Devontae made a great play, and then we scored, and that's it. We go home.
Well, we've done that play before in practice. Not me to Devontae, but, I've fake spiked and thrown to Jordy or Randall or different guys. I think you need to work on that stuff before you do it in a game situation. So we do it against our defense every now and then. It usually works more towards the beginning of a season, where you might have one or two young guys out there that haven't seen it before, or the defense isn't ready for it. And you don't tell anybody except for the receivers. In this case, we didn't really tell anybody except for Randall. Randall knew that Randall was actually running a route on the backside. And as I looked to the right to make sure that Devontae was in the proper position, so we had a legal formation, I just saw that Finnegan was 10 yards off and thought we'd get a couple cheap yards and get a little closer for two shots at the end zone.
You tired of talking about that play?
No,
okay.
It was fun. But
okay.
It was.
You can't do it again, right?
I just want everybody to just RELA. You know what I mean?
How about this? Instead of Omaha, you go to the line of scrimmage, and now when you change the play, you give me relax, hot. What do you think?
I'll think about it. I'll see what the guys think.
Well, what is your? You don't do Omaha, right?
No, I don't do Omaha.
What do you do?
I'm looking for another steak company to fill kind of the food section of the endorsements. So I got to pick a brand that's kind of up and coming, that has that has maybe a 2 or 3 syllable, 2 or 3 syllables, so I can just make it work with my cadence. So I'm on the lookout for sure.
But if I wanted to hire you as a spokesperson, but the only time I would use you as a spokesperson is during the game when you would call for an audible. So let's say it's Gatorade or it's Budweiser, whatever. Could I do that? Could I hire you to be a spokesperson and you use that word during a game?
I don't think so. Not yet. I mean, but they've been talking about potentially putting some endorsements on the jerseys for a while. I mean, I know that the NFL or the traditionalists are holding out that doesn't happen, but you never know. It might happen at some point. Denver could be sponsored by Omaha Steaks and work in some special incentives if you can work the word Omaha or steak.
I like it.
Or filet mignon into the cadence. I mean, they mic up everything now, so they can hear just about every conversation at the line of scrimmage, the cadences and stuff. So you never know. I mean, somebody might work something like that in here.
Peyton hates the fact that everything's mic'd up. You hate it?
I hate it. Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, but we get brought into the game. They want to get us closer to the game, so that's why.
There's too much access. There's too much access. I mean, the other day, a couple games ago, I got bumped in the back of the head by a camera guy who trying to get into a pregame huddle. I'm just like, what are you doing? I mean, none of the stuff that Josh sitting there, G.J. Lang, is going to say in this pregame huddle is going to be for TV. So get out of my way. Don't bump me in the back of the head with your camera. Nothing you're filming here is going to be used for consumption on TV because you have to bleep out every single word. It's like after a game, they rush you, and I'm just trying to go see somebody I might know on the other team. I just think, the access is over the top. I mean, I think you can use a camera with the $50,000 cameras they got and zoom in to get some of the same shots you're getting with running, like watching the Monday night game last night. They have to run a camera guy on the field to get right next to Austin Davis or Colin Kaepernick, as he's walking out to the huddle. So, I mean, what conversations are private now on the field? I would say just about none. I saw Coach Philbin in Miami. Coach and I have been close since he was with us, our offensive coordinator for a number of years, and you wish like a conversation like that was able to be private. But I step away and I realize I got a boom above me. I got a camera on. I just feel like it. I understand that our game is so popular because of some of this access, but I just feel like there should be conversations that should be left on the field, with just the players.
Yeah, but it's going to get worse, though, Aaron.
Oh, for sure.
I always hate when there's an anthem and then they go with the up the nose shot where the camera's right there as you're standing, being patriotic.
That's why I'd never stand on the right on the sideline. We have kind of like a 3 staggered line. You can stand on the sideline or the white line or the next line back. I have too much respect for this country, and the anthem to me has always been. I can remember the first time I started a game in college and heard the anthem, and it was just. I mean, talk about an absolute thrill. We were in Champaign. I was playing the University of Illinois, who I wanted to go to out of high school. I was playing for Cal. And I just always think about that moment and how far I've come from there and how special that moment was to know I was starting my first collegiate game. And I think about those little things as I'm listening to the anthem, and it means so much. My grandfather served in the Second World War, and the military has always been a part of our family. And I just feel like they're just, it's too much. I mean, like, why does everybody in the stadium have their hat off and respecting the flag, but the camera's got to get a shot of my nose hair, I don't know how I feel about that.
You just crushed all the people at Illinois by saying you wanted to go there. You know what you just did there.
I went out to their team camp, and they didn't offer me a scholarship.
Who was the coach then?
Ron Turner.
Oh, boy.
And now Ron Zook, who was at Illinois as well.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a little bit. He's with us now. We've laughed about it a little bit. I have no ill will toward Illinois. We beat them that day.
Of course you did. Well, congrats, and we'll all try to relax here. You're my Super Bowl pick, by the way. Just to let you know, I got you guys going to the Super Bowl.
Who'd you pick last year? I just want to know how your picks hold up.
I had Seattle over Denver in the Super Bowl.
Well, no, I mean, after it was already figured out or before the season?
Paulie.
Or mid-season?
Paulie, when did I pick Seattle over Denver last year?
Right before the season started.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
That's the way it works around here, Aaron. I don't, and
I wasn't trying to attack you there, Dan.
It felt like it. No, you felt like it. You know what? It felt like it.
Was it? Okay, we'll just relax a little bit. It's okay. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll relax. I felt like you were the cameraman and I was you, and you just kind of invaded my space there a little bit, all right?
Okay.
All right, don't screw it up, all right?
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Thanks, Aaron. That's Aaron Rodgers. Just relax.